Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Dream Girl Trucking. Dream Girl Trucking is for anybody who has a dream, whether they're a girl or not. And if you want to follow your dreams, and well, that's what this is for. It's really not being about, anything risque or anything like that. But that is a segue into what I've decided to call this little video. Confessions of a Naughty Truck Driver. Confessions of a Naughty Truck Driver. Yes. Well, before I get started, let me say that as a caveat, I am a Christian, and I'm not always a good Christian, of course, and I'm not always a perfect Christian, of course. So the one thing that I struggle with out here is my temper. And so this talk about me losing my temper, that's what this is about. I know I look like this little sweet pudgy grandma lady, but I beat up a truck in New Jersey, and that guy was taking his 30-minute break at a fuel island. And there's no way. All I had to do was weigh. I really want to just get going, All I had to do was weigh, but it's right there off the turnpike. And you pull in, and you have to snake through this little one lane, like those concrete construction little wall things. And so you have to snake around there to get to the fuel island. And then you have to get... And there's trucks parked across from the fuel island. That's pretty much the only parking they have there. It is a super, super tight place. So I got in there, I weighed, I had to go back around so I could go in and get my scale ticket, and I was hungry, so I was going to grab something to eat too. So I get in the line, and I notice there's a truck in front of me, and it's not doing anything, and there's a truck in front of it. So that guy can't leave, and I don't know if this guy's in or what. So I go in, I get my scale ticket, I get one of those terrible, really greasy, fattening hot dogs that they have. They don't taste so bad, and some chips, and a Coke, and I come back to my truck. Everything's still like it was when I went in, and I sat there, and I ate my hot dog, and I ate my bag of chips, and the truck that was in front of that guy in front of me, that truck left. So the guy in front of me, he pulled up. Now, granted, I'm through eating, and I thought, okay, great, perfect timing, I can finally go, And so he pulled up, and I pulled up, right in behind him, and he just stopped, and he just sat there. And I'm like, what could you be doing? He never put any fuel in. I didn't even know he was in his truck. So I went up there to see what he was doing, and he was eating one of those hot dogs. So I said, hey, why don't you move your truck? I was really mad. And like I said, I'm working on my temper, but at that time I wasn't, because I didn't realize it was so out of hand. And he just kind of like waved me off and kept on eating. Ooh, that made me so mad. I went over there to the side of his truck, and I started kicking it. And the security guard came out and said, what's going on? And I told him, I said, this guy's taking his 30-minute break at the fuel line, and I've got to go. He said, go back to your truck, I'll take care of it. So he went and he made that guy move. Okay, that was fine. So, and then I was at a Love's one morning. I can't remember what state this is. It was dark, okay? And so I pulled up, and I got my fuel, and I was working for Crete, so I didn't need a receipt. So I got my fuel, I was ready to go. And I waited for a few minutes, and the driver in front of me came walking back to his truck with his coffee. Gets in his truck. He don't go nowhere. I'm thinking, what the heck? I'm looking up there, and I can see him in his big long mirror, which are actually, that would be his West Coast mirror for all you oldies like me. And I see him take a drink of his coffee. I thought, okay, he's fixing to go. He just doctored his coffee. He's drinking it now. Now he's ready to roll. Nope. He just sit there. I'm still watching. That sucker took another drink of his coffee. That was fixing to be his last drink. He wasn't going to drink that whole coffee sitting there in front of me. I had places to go. It was Wyoming. I remember now because I went up there and I knocked on his door. He rolls down his window. I said, "This ain't your coffee break." I said, "You need to get on out of here." He said, "You shouldn't be walking up to people's door and knocking on it like that. This is Wyoming. You could get shot." I'm like, "Buddy, I'm from Texas. Move this truck." So he did. Then, after that, also, I was working at Crete. And I guess it's just, I've noticed a pattern to my behavior when people are doing other people wrong, and usually it's me. This time it wasn't, though. So, again, I'm working for Crete, and I pulled up to the fuel island to get fuel. There was hardly anybody there. There was lots of open fuel islands. It was, they were real slow. It was the middle of the day. And I look over there at the truck next to me, and there's this guy in there, and he's sitting there eating one of those wraps that you get at Love's, in the refrigerated section there where you get the fruit and the parfaits. He's eating one of those wraps. He's taking his 30-minute break. And so I got out and I said, oh no, I didn't get out. I rolled down my window because my motor was off and his motor was off. And I rolled down my window and he rolled down his window. And I said, "Hey, you shouldn't be taking your 30-minute break on the fuel island. You should pull up in case somebody wants to get fuel." And he said, "How long you been driving?" And I said, "Like 15 years? Because I'm so stupid. That's what I said, right? He goes, "That's long enough to know to mind your own business." I thought, oh no, you little whippersnapper. Oh no, you did not talk to me like that. Oh, I thought, I'm going to go throw something on his truck. But I don't want to hurt it. I don't want to do any damage, I'm not mad, but I thought, the psychological effect of it, So I get my drinking water. I'm drinking on it, right? And I get it, and I go over there, and I slosh it on his fender right there. Well, he's so busy eating, he's not even acting like he's looking at me, And so I go around, and about that time, a lady driver pulls up behind him in a tanker, and I went back there and I told her, I said, "That guy in front of you just taking his 30-minute break. He's just sitting there eating." She's like, "People." She honked her horn, and I went back and started to fuel my truck. Well, he pulled up. He got out with his little video camera, and he's videoing my truck. I'm thinking, oh, you sucker, you better not say that I did anything to your truck, because he could just go put something on it and say that I did that, So I got my camera out, my phone, and I went up there and I walked all around his truck videoing it to show that it was a white truck, because it was a Walmart truck. There wasn't any damage or anything on it, right? So I get my fuel, and he takes off. And I get my fuel, and I finish fueling up, and I take off too. Ring, ring, my phone rings. It's Crete. That little sucker called in on me. And Crete's like, "Did you just throw urine in a bottle on somebody's truck?" I said, "I'm a girl. How am I going to get urine in a bottle?" And they said, "Well, did you throw something on his truck?" I said, "Well, it was just, drinking water." I was actually still drinking my water that I threw on his truck. If anything, I washed his stupid truck. He ought to thank me. But anyway, so I said, "Well, yeah, it was just clear water," because he was taking a 30-minute break on the fuel island. She said, "Well, we're Crete and you represent us, and anybody who saw that could have assumed that it was urine, just like that driver did. So, please, you need to control your temper." I said, "Ma'am, if I could control my temper, I'd be working in an office somewhere, not driving a truck. But I'll do my best." And then, this was even worse. I feel really bad about this in retrospect, but it is kind of funny. The thought that he was then believing that he was driving around all day with my pee-pee on his truck. Oh, I wasn't supposed to laugh. See, I'm working on it, okay? So here was the best one. I was at some meat packing plant in California, and it was a terrible place, It was one of those really, really tight places. You can't even get in there. You got to park on the street and walk. Well, you and every other truck in the state of California. So it was a long, long hike up in there. And so, that's when I was working for John Christner. I had not been working there for very long. And so they would kept calling me, are you unloaded? I'm like, I haven't even checked in yet, you know. And then they call me like 5 more minutes, you know, 5 minutes later, are you unloaded? And I'd be like, I haven't even checked in yet. So anyway, so I went and you have to talk to the people at the guard shack, and then they tell you to go like way down yonder, and there's this little shack house, and you have to go up this ramp and make a little U, and then there's the window where you check in at. So there's all these drivers, and we're all in line, and I'm thinking, I'm glad it's not raining or anything, because it's one of those places where they just make us stand out there and whatever the weather is, and stand there, because there's like 4 guys working in there, and one of them came out and said, we're all going on break. Why do they all need to go on break? It's a hand-holding society, right? So they all went on break 15 minutes, and we all just stood in line. We've been standing in line for a long time. Of course, you know, John Christner calling me, are you unloaded yet? I'm like, I hadn't even checked in. So I'm trying to hurry. And so they come back from break, and they start processing people in, and the line is moving very slowly. And I get almost to that little part where you had to make the little horseshoe loop, and there's a guy at the window, another guy, and then another guy, and me. And then behind me there's this other man, okay? So when it was my turn, JCT had called me on the phone, and the line moved up, and I guess I didn't move up fast enough for the guy behind me, because I was right there in that little horseshoe part. And so he just like hopped in front of me. I hate to say this, but this guy was Mexican, okay? Because I say this now because they got these little grins on their faces. He's like, I don't speak no English. You know, no. My bill of lading was in a manila envelope. It was thick. It wasn't just one sheet of paper like his was. And I started hitting him with it. And I started saying, get back over there. Get in your place. Get away from me. And he didn't want to move, you know. So I was like, get away from me, you pervert. Get away from me. And I was hitting him with my paper. And get back. Get away from me. Get away from me. Right. And finally he's moving back, inching back little by little. I'm still beating on him with my paperwork. And so finally he gets back a little ways, you know. And I'm thinking, oh, the nerve of some people. And he's looking at his paper, and he drops it, and the wind makes it go swish, 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 and it landed right under my boot. And he bent over to pick it up. I kicked it away from me. I started hitting him again. Get away from me! Get away from me, you pervert! Get away from me! Get away from me! And so he just backed off, you know. Nobody said a word, man. There's a whole line of guys there, you know. Nobody said a word. I'm thinking, I wonder what these people think. But anyway, so I shouldn't be like, you know, so bad to people. I should be more understanding. I know I should. So, you know, I gotta just ask for forgiveness, and if we have a problem, a personality trait or anything like that, you know, that's the good thing about Jesus. You know, the Holy Spirit, he'll come in and he'll help you clean yourself up. So you could at least stand to look in the mirror. But anyway, yeah, my temper is a problem, and I know a lot of you people have road rage out here, and it's not good. So I just want to say that you know, it's getting better already, and so like me, you could just ask Jesus to help you, and he will. And that concludes this storytelling episode of Dream Girl Trucking. So you guys put a like down under the video if y'all thought this was goofy, and leave your comments and I'll get back to you. Thanks. Bye.